So with the menu of services, and I'm critical of this from a business standpoint, do they charge different fees for different services? So myofascial release, trigger point, Swedish, deep tissue, Thai, and they've all got like different session lengths, and then they've all got different prices. What I find happens, and this is, you tell me if you guys think otherwise. When you go to a restaurant, are you really impressed when they sell everything?
It's overwhelming, well, to some extent.
I think they did some research recently, and people actually had more anxiety like choosing out a breakfast cereal. Because like they'd pick a breakfast cereal, but they kept thinking, well, there's like 30 other breakfast cereals, and maybe if what is it? FOMO. What does it mean?
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Yeah. They're concerned that even though they picked one, like the other ones might have been better. But if you minimize the number of choices, it reduces that. And there are lots of ways to go about that. One of the things I noticed as I grew up, I don't remember a time at which McDonald's did anything other than, give me a number 1. Give me a number 2. And I guarantee you, whoever came up with that one, they deserve millions of dollars because they saved Americans a huge amount of time. Because they used to say, I want a hamburger. Wait, I don't want onions. Can you add cheese? Do you want fries with that? Do you see how long it takes? If they go up and say, listen, I want a number 1 and I want it with no onions. It streamlined that process. When you have 20 different things, especially as a massage therapist, on your menu of services, what stands out?
The most recognizable one, Swedish, because that's what everybody knows.
Anxiety stands out.
First one on the list.
Yeah, I don't think anything really stands out.
So if you do 20 things, what are you good at?
Yeah.
So here's what I did, and this is me, and I'm just addressing it from my perspective. I realized at a certain point I wasn't selling massage. So here's what's on my menu of services currently. I have a 3-hour reboot. It's $240. And I have a 90-minute belly reboot. There's a number 1 and number 2, that's it. There is no massage, there is no 90 minutes, there is no hour, there is no 30 minutes. And people say, wait, but don't people call you and say, I want a massage? And I say, listen, my work is really high-grade manual therapy. If you're looking for a massage, like have you had massage before? And they say, no, I've never had massage, but I saw your Yelp profile and you had like all these 5-star reviews. And I go, okay, I'm a little bit like the deep end of the pool. I'd really be happy to work on you, but what I think you might want to do is to find a massage therapist and go get a simple kind of table massage to get started. And if you decide you're looking for more, you can come see me. It's like you're almost pushing people away a little bit. But what I'm trying to do is draw the clients who really want to work with me. Who wants a 3-hour mat-based session? So massage therapists make great clients. You know why?
Because they already know.
Well, I relate to you and you tip well. We know the power of tipping, right? Where was I going with that?
So in an instance like where I work, I can't really control what she does.
Exactly.
Her suggestion. Exactly.
So the thing is, what I am saying about the menu of services is I actually prefer that the menu of services be, this is my take on it, be shortened and you really focus on what you like doing. And if there's a price difference, here's one of the things that will happen. If there's a price difference, what do consumers notice? They might not know what myofascial release is, but they know the difference between 80 and 60. And often they're going to choose, well, right? But what do you want to do? A lot of therapists I work with, so in Fernando's case, have you worked much on a mat? Have you done any, where do you work right now?
I work for myself.
You work for yourself primarily, okay. If Fernando decides he wants to do mat work, he takes the mat class, he's come to the Thai Massage Jam, he's done some table work too. But he decides he wants to do mat work. If you decide you want to do mat work, this is how I tell students to transition the clients from the table to the mat. This client has come in for 6 months. They come in and get a session once a month. Why are they going to switch to getting on the mat? You sell it, which means you have to offer it first. What I tend to do, or what I recommend, if you work for yourself like Fernando does, if he can put down a mat and he says he really wants to do mat work, he really wants to successfully transition this client to the mat. Do you find that table work is more work or mat work is more work?
Well, the table is going to be more work.
Do you actually feel that? Like
Yeah.
is it more physically
For
intense?
me, yeah, my hands.
Yeah.
And then just lugging around the table.
So if he wants to do less work, here's what I'm going to tell him. You take this client on the table and say, listen, next time you come in, I'll give you 90 minutes on the mat for the same price I charge as an hour on the table. What does the client hear? 30 minutes of free massage. I'll at least try it. Now, once he gets on the mat, how's he going to feel?
Hopefully, yeah, he'll notice the difference.
And the thing is, if I go in intellectually, and I go in like, well, it allows deeper compressions and you sell the features, that's not really resonating. But if we resonate with his pocketbook, like he would want an extra 30 minutes. I mean, enough to at least try it, right? Yeah. That's the way I recommend you transition people. I know you can't control the menu of services at the place. What I recommend you do is become a specialist. In other words, who makes more as a doctor, a general practitioner or a specialist? Specialist. Okay, so are you a massage therapist or are you doing soft tissue work? Myofascial release. You see what I mean? You can do that legally. You're using the same license, you're just specializing in a specific area of work. Make sense? When it comes to the menu of services, you're going to have to work that out with your boss. And if you're anything like me, you try not to ruffle feathers.
Try to ruffle feathers.
I've been fired from a lot of jobs.
So you tried not to.
Yeah.
Try not to.
And I'll ask you this in just a second. I'm going to come right back to you.
So, when our clients come in, a lot of times, when you do your intake form, would you do specifically a signature or a tie? Wouldn't that be pretty big too then?
A different intake form?
Like, not necessarily intake, but let them sign a release?
Sure. I mean, you have them fill out paperwork and consent to treat and all those things. Here's what I tend to do with my intake. Even if I'm keeping a verbal intake, when I work with Fernando, I emphasize the verbal communication with him. What I typically do is I see enough clients, meaning like I'm only going to see 2 a day. It's not like 8. So I don't have 8 sets of paperwork, I only have 2. I'll write down, because when he signs up online, I've got his name, his email address, his phone number. I'm going to fill that stuff out on the form. When he comes in, I'm not going to have him fill it out. I'm going to fill it out because I'm going to talk to him. And I go, Fernando, do you have any problems with your back? And he's like, yeah, low back. And then I go, oh, okay, I just want to make a quick note here. Because what I'm doing is I'm emphasizing the communication between he and I. If I go, hey, Fernando, here's some paperwork. You see what I mean? Do you ever have clients that get angry, they don't want to fill out paperwork? Yeah. And the thing is, like legally, we have to keep some paperwork, correct? What I did is remove that and made it more of a human connection because we got 3 hours. Like if I have an hour between clients, I'm fine. If we go 15 minutes over, it's his first set, doesn't matter. You know, I'm real relaxed in like how I present it. You know, he's in my home. He's not in like a big formal studio. There's nothing that I think of as like extremely specific about that intake because what I'm doing is mat-based or Thai massage. It's the same intake form.
One other thing, with your clients before they leave, after you specifically work with them for maybe 3 hours, do you give them like a detox bath, a thing to go on and, hey, you know, you need to drink plenty of fluid because you could feel, like we were talking,
Yeah.
you're not feeling really like...
Here's what the general flow is. Fernando, do you have any physical issues at all? Okay. So we'll say he had upper back pain. What I will do is, in that intake process, I will say, listen, Fernando, I've been doing this for a long time. Based on what you're telling me with your upper back pain, it just sounds like you're working as a therapist, kind of leaning over. I'm going to help you release some of that stuff in your pecs and help you open your chest. When we're done with the session, I'm hoping to remove your pain, reduce it by about 2 points on a scale. We're setting expectations. I go, listen, if I can do that, I believe that we can do that consistently with regular ongoing sessions. My quick guess, I haven't even put hands on him yet. My quick guess, if I could see you once every 2 to 3 weeks as maintenance, I think you're going to have much more optimal performance as a massage therapist. Then I'm going to work on him. If what I think is going on, and we unwind this, I'm then going to say, listen, I'd love to see you again in 2 to 3 weeks. If you'd like to schedule now, please let me know. I've got my calendar right here. Would you like to schedule now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then I'll work out the day and time or whatever. If he says no, I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to send you an email. It'll have a link so you can schedule at your convenience. I understand you're busy. You might not know your schedule. In addition, I'm going to send him a link that's going to show him how to use a foam roll and essentially approximate using self-massage, yoga, breathing exercises, the same thing that we did in session so he can work on himself. And if I've structured it in such a way, listen, do you think you'd do this if I gave you a foam roll?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to lay down on the mat real quick, show him how to use it, have him do it real quick just to show him how to use it, and gift him a foam roll. When I go to my email, I'm going to send him an email link to the YouTube videos I've already created and repurposed to show him how to work on himself. Now, what is his sense of value for what we just did?
Off the chart.
How much does a foam roll cost? I charged him $240 for the session. What's my overhead in my garage?
0.
That's a nice number. That's a real nice number. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like I can buy little mini foam rolls. I have to buy the big one if I don't want. But the thing is, his sense of value, when I worked at the chiropractor's office, they actually allowed me to do that. I would go and write down, look up Robert Gardner, trigger point, anterior scalene in YouTube. And I would have clients tip me $20 and say, I've never had a massage therapist educate me. And I went, well, on the one hand, great for me. But then also like, wow, really? I mean, dude, listen, it's a muscle. It's like your SCM is just a muscle and it connects here and it connects here. And like, because your head's forward, like both sides are tight. We're just going to work on that. There's a video I made on YouTube. I show you how to pinch it. It's right here. They don't know that. That is like rocket science to the general public. Now, when you make a YouTube video, how much more of an expert are you?
No, significantly.
Listen, go back and watch my first YouTube video and see how much of an expert I was. It was a flip cam and it wasn't nearly as good as this. But there's a combination in that intake process of setting expectations. I've already told him, when you reschedule, because I know he wants to rebook. Who doesn't want massage? Exactly.
Fibromyalgia, maybe?
Well, maybe, yeah, in some case. So in other words, we're already selling something people want, but if we can emphasize the connection, if we can emphasize the intimacy, if we can emphasize, yeah, it's a medical procedure, in a way, but at the same time, I didn't have him fill out the paperwork, I did it for him. And then the next time he comes in, I'd keep like a short form. I wouldn't have to fill in all that initial information again. I would just be filling out information about anything that might have changed. Oh, his QL was not as tight this time, but he seemed to have a little more tension in his gluteals, especially on his right side. I'd make little notes. Does that make sense? But do you see how the marketing and sales rolled into the packaging? That's how your spa can win. It's easy to outcompete when your standard is way down here. How much easier is it to make a better hamburger than McDonald's? Exactly. But McDonald's doesn't worry about you. McDonald's is selling to a mass market in a totally different way. Does it make sense? What I wanted to come back to with you is how much do you make an hour at that spa?
I make 50% of whatever the charge is.
Okay, what do you make on average?
I average about 30 to 35 an hour.
Okay.
Including tips.
And we want to do some, how's your penmanship? Pretty good? Okay. So we're going to go high. We're going to say it's 35. 35 an hour. Write that down. How many hours a week do you work there?
Between 15 to 25. I'm definitely trying to do more.
Okay, so here's the thing. Give the spa their 15 to 25, and I want you to see clients on the side in private practice. Find a facility. Don't compete with the spa. Just like, let's say you don't want to do Thai there, you want to do Thai or mat-based or whatever it is, you want to do it on your own. What kind of sessions do you want to sell? This.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to do mat-based?
I'd like to get,
Okay, so we'll take that. And let's say, my suggestion to you is I wouldn't do an hour mat-based. I would do 90 minutes minimum. Minimum, okay? So now we're going to switch. He was making 35 an hour. Now he's going to do a 90-minute session. So put 90 minutes instead of an hour. Now how much is he going to charge for that in private practice?
$100.
75?
I don't know. What do you think?
150.
150, right? Well, 150 is a little more than 35. Okay, so here's the thing. In an average week, does somebody have a calculator? Because I could do this, but it's easier if you guys do it.
I got you.
So 35 an hour, was it 25 hours a week?
Yeah, at most.
We'll push to 25 just to see. What's 25 times 35? 875. Can you write that down? So up here, 875. And that's basically 875, that's a week. How many private clients can you see after you do 25 hours a week? Because that's a lot.
Yeah.
25, that's pushing it. How many private clients can you see after that at 90 minutes?
And still have some time off, I would do 5.
Have a life, okay? What's 5 times 150?
50.
Write that down. 750 a week. 90 minutes times 5. What does that come out to time-wise?
7.5 hours.
Okay, 7.5 hours. Can you write that down?
So a fifth of the time.
So if he just adds, if he picks up enough private clients to do 5 private sessions a week, if he can maintain, and I'm not trying to push his edges, he could always maybe back down to 20 hours a week or fudge it. Do you see how he's making almost as much money working for himself in like a fraction of the time? Inevitably, when I talk to students about working for themselves, there's a little apprehension because, oh, it's so much work to run a business and like do all the things we got to do. And it is. But at the same time, what I notice is, Candace, how did you feel when you started seeing private clients? Because Candace would message me and go, yo, like how much did you charge for 90 minutes?
I charge 110,
110? And then what'd they tip you?
like 22, 25,
Because she would be like,
plus my travel fee.
I made like $180 off one session. And I was like, it's nice, isn't it? When's the last time you made $180 off a session at Massage Envy? You see what I mean? And the way that you win is not by selling massage. The way that you win is by selling that. Does it make sense? I'm not saying quit your job. Go all mat. You know, I mean, if you want to, you can. But the thing is, if you just add a couple, if he's charging 150, and let's say he just sees 2 people a week, just 3 hours, 2 extra clients a week, he's going to make $300 extra a week. $300, $600, $900, $1,200 a month. How much can $1,200 a month pay for a website? Video camera. You see what I mean? Very, very quickly, he's able to make more income working for himself. That's the power of math. That math is perfect. It will always be like that. Do you ever get really slow at the spa?
Oh yeah, it was terrible last year.
And then do you have to stay when you're not booked?
No, luckily, but I do have to be available.
He has to be available. Okay. And then you make sure you're available, but let's say you only had 3 hours that day instead of 6 or whatever it is. Even though you were there for 6 hours, you still might have some energy to kick out a couple private clients.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how you get ahead. How did I pay for all those workbooks, DVDs, videos, Tanner coming here, laptop? How did I do that?
Right there.
How did I pay for setting up a subscription service, which is basically upending massage education? I sat down with the guy who helps me with marketing and some online sales, and I said, yo, can we do this? Is that even possible? I've never heard of a subscription service for our industry. And we said, technologically, we can do it now. And I was like, gas to the floor. Let's see what happens. Give them 200 hours of video instructional content and see what happens. Make sense? You can build it wherever you want to go, whatever you want your practice to be, but you're going to have to tweak it and work at it. If you try to replicate what everybody else is selling as massage, that's a loss. What's the difference between Nike, Reebok, and Adidas?
The logo.
Logo,
Branding.
symbol,
The way they
branding. Nike didn't do no video of Run DMC. Adidas. My Adidas, right? Yeah. Branding happens for you personally. How difficult is it for you to brand what you do at the spa specifically?
I think it's difficult for it to be cohesive. It's easy to show.
Yeah. Because for him to stand out within the structure of what the spa is doing, because Massage Envy relies on what? Consistency. And what that means is you're a cog in a machine, and when you burn out, they'll replace you with another part. See what I mean? And massage therapists get angry about that, but Massage Envy's done a good job at like opening up the marketplace and basically producing McDonald's. And we're in the age of artisanal, niche, bodywork experiences. Make sense? You offer something different. Do you guys have any questions about that? At all? Anything come up for you? Anybody want to fight me? I'm letting your food digest. You could probably beat me up. I'm softy. Yeah.
I was just scratching my nose.
Oh, okay. I thought you were raising your hand. Yeah.
So like my spa basically lets me dictate what I want to put on the menu, but
Sure.
I like to keep it really simple. And so would it be better to have like a custom massage for the relaxation types and then like a sports deep tissue type combo?
What do you think? What do you think both works for your clients and works for you?
I think a package like that to where I can just give them what they need and then be expecting deep work.
When you have that menu of services at the place you work, granted, I don't know anything about where you work, do they have a picture of you?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your name, by the way?
Handy.
Mandy. So Mandy, why doesn't the spa have a picture of you on the website and then a video of you talking about your integrated combination of Thai massage, sports techniques for athletes or whoever it is?
Well, I do have a biography on the website.
Yes. Do people respond to videos? You see what I mean? And it's just pushing the edges because it depends on how much the spa lets her stand out. Because sometimes the spas, the facilities, don't want her to stand out because they're afraid the clients will become connected to her, and when she leaves, where do all the clients want to go? You see what I mean? And there's a little bit of a conflict there. I really like therapists working for themselves because I feel like you get to dictate your terms, you get to control your working relationship. And my thought always, I didn't understand why massage therapists couldn't make as much as a good plumber. Like, it's manual labor. It's skilled manual labor. And Lord knows we deal with people's shit.
We got tools.
And it's like the plumber doesn't go through a plumbing company. He's his own. He just shows up with his tools. Like, why can't I go directly to the consumers? Like, why do I have to go through this facility?
People don't think you're a necessity yet. You have to have working plumbing. You don't have to be able to move right. You don't have to not be in pain.
When's the last time you had a code red massage? But I guarantee you, if you have a code red plumbing problem, you're like, whatever you charge, that's a difference, right? But how can you stand out so that people think about you instead of thinking about going to the local massage chain? To some degree, it's interesting to me. I think people in America don't trust big businesses. But on the converse, they really trust big businesses. So why do people go to McDonald's?
They know what they're going to get. They're going to It doesn't change.
It reduces anxiety. Because if I go to a different burger place in every city, I never know what I'm getting. When it was McDonald's, when it was Starbucks, see what I mean? It's a weird thing that I ponder about philosophically. You know, it's like me, I'm a guy, I work out of my garage. How many people are going to be uncomfortable coming to work with me? And how did I overcome it? And it wasn't everybody, by the way. But I worked on a woman one time, and in the middle of the session, she said, I was afraid I was coming to see a serial killer. And I was like, oh, cool. All right. How did you get over the hump? Like, what made you decide to book a session? And she's like, I watched like 10 of your YouTube videos, and it was obvious that you were just like a consummate professional. And I go, oh, yeah. But how did I, in essence, how did I connect with her?
Through the video.
Video. Does Massage Envy put out lots of video? Does Mandy puts out lots of video? Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook Live. Unfortunately, we have horrible internet connection. It's normally the thing where I will set this up in Facebook Live, this entire presentation, for free. Why? Because when I record it, guess what it does? It lives forever. And I can literally take this presentation, if I thought it was good, and then share it with other students later via YouTube or whatever. People can find it. People start to think of me as an expert on branding in the massage community or whatever it is, right? And I'm like, no, I'm just an asshole with a phone. But I went, I can use this to produce instead of consume. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. I can Facebook Live. Yeah. So, or an asshole with a camera. And when I have a video camera, yeah. Did you have questions about that, like working for yourself, picking up a few extra clients?
No, it's something that I was just starting to look into doing, and then my boss hit me with a non-compete that's more than a non-compete, and I live in a small town, so I'm kind of just making that decision of how I'm going to handle that.
You negotiate. Do you have negotiation power before you sign a contract? And then the wars erupt, because are you an employee or a contractor?
Independent contractor.
Oh! Ooh, do you hear that? Oh, we better turn off the camera. It's going to get rough here in a second. You see what I mean? And the difference is there. Do you have any questions, anything about marketing stuff before we move on?
Well, I just have a question about what software do you use for online scheduling?
I use Full Slate. Full Slate was easy for me. I got it years ago, and I just haven't changed it. I see lots of discussions online about Schedulicity, I think is how it's pronounced. Massage Book. Does anybody use any software they really like?
I like Square.
Square, the booking, it works pretty easy. Does it integrate well with the payments?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's everything. Massage Book is amazing.
Massage Book, okay.
Visual soap notes as well. They have like the anatomical charts you can draw.
Cool.
And then they're about to integrate with Square, so you can actually keep all your finances.
Yeah.
through Square. It's going to happen in about 6 months.
And the technology will continue to evolve. Yeah. Keeping up with software is actually a challenge. It continues to rapidly evolve.
What's the cost of that software package?
Massage Book? What is it? Do you know?
Massage Book, I get a discount through AMBP, so it's like $30 a month. But
Oh,
it's
that's pretty
totally
nice.
worth it.
Oh, that's
Like,
nothing.
you
Yeah.
can color code
Yeah.
everything. You can have a website through them, which is like they're really, really clean. They look super professional.
I had someone ask me, like from my vantage point, what's the biggest change in the massage industry since I entered it? Like bar none, the thing that made the biggest impact in our industry. And I was like, automated online scheduling. Well, and I'll pinch a penny. Here, nickel, squeal. When I added online scheduling, like $15 a month or whatever it was for Full Slate, I was like, this is what? Like I book my appointments, it's fine. And then the first time people started booking online, I went, there was no text message. There was no figuring out their schedule. They booked at 2 o'clock in the morning because they woke up. I was like, this is nice. Because save me time. Is Uber providing transportation or are they saving you time? Does Netflix provide movies or do they save you time? See what I mean? Yeah. Any other questions?